Thanks for coming,
You
man.
make me nervous.
Yeah. Well, don't be nervous. You're already well on camera.
So thank you. Appreciate
You
that.
do a lot on
Try
there.
to.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming. So, what I like to start with is how did you even get into real estate? Let's just rewind the clock. How long have you been in now?
It's going to be 19 years in October.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long time.
Okay.
I got my license in October 2005. Yeah.
So I didn't get my license then, but that's when I got in the business. It was September of '05. My start date at Nova was 2008 in October, and it was exactly 3 years after me getting in the business. So 19 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you too.
Yeah, we made it.
Absolutely.
We
Right.
made it.
We survived. Oh,
2
God.
decades. So take me back. What were you doing right before getting into real estate?
Before I was in real estate, I was actually going to ASU. So I got into real estate right before I even graduated, my last year of college.
Really?
Yeah. So one of my friends, he knew I was doing real estate at ASU. So he's like, hey, I have a buddy here at College International. They're looking for an intern for their retail division. He's like, I think you'd be perfect for it. So went and applied. I always joke because my interview was when Napoleon Dynamite came out, right? That movie, Napoleon Dynamite. And my whole interview, we talked about an hour about the movie. That was about it. That's when we talked about real estate, if I was qualified, nothing. We just joked about the movie. They're like, we think you fit the culture. It was like, we know you're good. You got a resume. It's like, when can you start?
That's so cool.
So, yeah.
What made you pick that as your major at ASU?
So I did my first 2 years of just general studies. There was nothing that kind of caught my eye. My dad did real estate in the 80s. So seeing him do it kind of sparked that interest in me, right? But there was nothing else that I really connected with. And I was like, let's just go real estate.
That's
Right?
phenomenal.
Yeah. So everybody's like, you did 4 years for real estate. You go to school and get 96 hours.
Right.
Right? But it was a lot. It was going into a lot more depth than just getting your license. It was kind of the whole gamut of what you can do in real estate, right? So they had loans, they had property management. If you wanted to do work with city planning, developments from the ground up, so pretty much the whole gamut of real estate.
And then you decided then to go into residential.
So I did commercial from that internship.
Okay.
So my kind of trajectory or my journey with real estate is a lot different than most people, because out of ASU I went straight into commercial real estate. I was with them Colliers for about 6 years. Then a buddy of mine and his dad started a property management company. So I worked with him doing that for about another 7 years.
Was that commercial property management or residential?
So it was both. It was both residential, and then at the time they had a few smaller properties for multifamily, and then they slowly were kind of scaling up. That wasn't the reason why I got into it. So working with them for about 7 years, I was like, I kind of needed to change, and then I switched into residential, which is really what kind of got me into it to begin with.
Mm-hmm. So now, how many years now in residential real estate?
Just strictly residential has been 4 years.
Wow, good.
So
Okay.
but
How was that transition?
It actually wasn't too bad, to be honest. I think for me, it was, I already had like a book of business, but I think with Keller Williams, they really teach you how to make it more of a business, not just waking up and, hey, I got to go do real estate today. Like a lot of agents do, right? And I feel that's why like 85% of agents kind of fail the first 2 years, that they don't have a set system of actually run their business. So for me, it was really just starting over, kind of getting back to basics and really doing a business as opposed to just being a real estate agent.
I always say that in the classes, the 90 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had just done that, they don't teach anything about sales skills or prospecting or lead gen, leads leverage, right? Did they do any of that at ASU during the real estate program?
No, they didn't.
Really?
They were just kind of teaching you what was out
So
there.
still
available
all
for
the
you.
different gamuts of it, but still nothing of the, I just call it street smarts,
Yeah.
like the street practical. Here's what you got to do day one.
Correct.
In order
To actually do the business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, how did you get in with KW? How did you get introduced
So
to that?
at the time, I was going I was working out a place called True Hit at the time. So my fitness instructor was actually an agent with Keller Williams. And I was going there for like 3 years at the time. And she knew I was kind of getting ready to make a change. So she invited me to a couple classes. I think one was it was in October, so it was like a business planning class.
Oh, great.
Towards the end of the year. And then another one was that a gentleman that came in for taxes. So I think those two items, and actually there was one more. Another one was a class. It's called 36-12-3. So 36 transactions in 12 months with 3 hours of lead gen per day. So they stacked me up with those, and after that, I
Wow.
was like, all right,
You got your plan
I need to
right
make this
there.
move. I'm good to go. Like, and looking back, I feel like if I would have known they had all those resources with Keller Williams, I think I would have made the switch sooner. Just changing the mentality of just being an agent to actually being a business owner and conducting it that way. I feel like it would have made it a lot different.
Well, and having the playbook.
100%.
Hey, here's your 3 hours. Here's what you're going to do. Here's what you're going to say. Who's you're going to call. And then it'll lead to this outcome of your 36. Now, did you actually do that?
So I did the class. I didn't get to 36. So, and that was just because.
Did you do the 3 hours of lead gen?
Yeah, I did 3 hours of lead gen. I think I did it for like 2 months. And then, kind of when you start getting deals done, you unfortunately, like most agents, they stop doing the lead gen portion of it. And that's kind of what I did. I kind of messed up by not continuing doing the lead gen. So kind of going that up and down like most agents do.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of following that trend.
Well, and that happens in my business too. Right. I coach loan officers and realtors across the country, and it starts with, hey, we're going to do a lot of this prospecting, and they can really do that all day long because they got no deals going. Yeah. But then eventually, once the deals start coming in, now they have all those other tasks to happen, and like you said, what falls by the wayside? All the lead gen that got you there, and they have that. They call it like the whale, right? Or the the roller coaster of, man, I do all this activity and I have all these leads and all these transactions going, and then you're in the transactions, so all the lead gen goes away, and then you're down and you're looking back like, hey, what happened? Where's all that? So how did you overcome that?
I'm still trying to fight it, to be honest. So I'm still kind of working through, kind of get my systems in place and kind of working through it, trying to get enough volume where I can eventually hire an assistant to be kind of helping me through that process.
Okay.
Just because there's a lot of stuff in the back end of a real estate transaction that I don't feel like I shouldn't be doing it, but I could be doing other productive,
it's non-dollar productive stuff.
Exactly right now.
Yeah.
So trying to get back into the habit of, eventually hiring an assistant, be able to kind of help me with that leverage. Right.
Do you leverage a TC already?
So I started leveraging a TC this year.
That should
and
help.
just by that alone, I was like, man, I should have hired one at the very beginning.
Right.
Right. We have an agent in our office. The first day, he's like, I'm going to hire a TC. He's like, I don't need to learn how to do DocuSign. I don't need to learn how to fill out the contracts. I do know how to fill them out, but just prospect, and I'll tell them how to do it. And he's like, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's killing it. Right. And he has all this time to obviously do the money producing activities that he should be doing.
Right.
So
now that you've started that this year, leveraging the TC, did that open your bandwidth to now do more of the continuous prospecting?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I was doing when I'm doing transaction, like an hour or two, doing all the activities to finish the transaction, right? All the back end stuff. So moving those activities to actually being out there, lead gen, meeting people, going for coffee, all those other activities you should be doing as an agent.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more time
now,
to do that.
Did you learn all that, the prospecting proper activities through KW?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you comprise your prospecting of right now? Because I want to get into where I think marketing is prospecting as well, right? And you've built a brand. You're wearing your brand.
Yeah.
You represent it all the time. And I feel like that's a newer thing for entrepreneurs in general, but especially in real estate. They're now trying to find that identity, and the ones that have, they're pushing it out there a lot, and I love it. And when did you make that shift to get into that marketing side to add that into your prospecting as part of your prospecting?
Yeah, I think I started probably, I want to say, like about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Right. So just going to a lot of different conferences and then listening to a lot of Gary Vee's videos as well. Right now, if you're not marketing yourself, nobody's doing it for you.
Yes.
Really, unless you're getting it done somewhere else. But so you are your marketing arm of your team, or just myself, which as an agent. So the way it kind of started is once my hair started going silver, my family friends were calling me, you look like a silver fox. They were calling me that over and over. So I'm like, I'm just going to use that and go with it because people are already calling me that.
Love it.
So I'm going to just do that. And then I feel just representing and just kind of pushing it out, kind of no matter where I'm going, I'm always have something that I have some hats that have Silver Fox Realtor as well too. So I feel just kind of building your own personal brand, because if in the future, if I ever decide to move or open my own company, the brand that people recognize is what's going to move along with me, not the brokerage that I'm with.
So Silver Fox Realtor can be powered by whoever, right?
Exactly.
But you're the brand.
Correct.
But even bringing in the glasses into the logo and things like that. And I always think, like, right now, if you were to walk in and, you had the dress shirt on and the suit and walking in, people would just think, oh, he's a professional and he's coming in to work in the building somewhere. But when you're wearing that, they're like, oh, he's a realtor. And now maybe it sparks a conversation. It's like you're a billboard.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. Yeah. Having the shirt always sparks some kind of conversation
Mm-hmm.
because I have it in the back as well. So when I find them at a grocery store,
Oh,
people
that's
are like,
awesome.
all right, I think I made the logo way too big when I made these shirts because it's pretty much the entire back. And I didn't mean to make it that way, but it definitely
gotta see
opens
it.
up conversations that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
That's fantastic. So what other are your prospecting activities that you've got? Are you time blocked for your activity?
So I am time blocked. Usually I do like an hour in the morning. I'll do an hour like after lunch, and then I'll do something in the evening as well too. Just 'cause,
I've seen some of your posts. Headsets on, 2 screens. I even saw one with your son in the baby carrier thing. It was awesome. So do you do a lot on the phones?
yeah, the majority of it is on the phones.
Okay. And who are you calling?
So right now I'm calling, reaching out to a lot more of investors. I'm reaching out to investors, first-time home buyers, and I'm always prospecting for sale by owner and expired listings.
Okay.
Well, so
Now I know obviously FISBO's expires, like we can get that. Where do you find investors to call?
So investors, usually I do research, like if a home sells, it's cash offer, trying to find, kind of skip trace who that person was, trying
Okay.
to find numbers that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of it. When there's a lot of agents or wholesalers out there that are asking, here's the property I have, you want to buy it? I always reach out to them and say, hey, do you have other buyers that are looking? So I always kind of keep my investor list, buyer list, kind of just keep going. Because
Nice.
just wherever I meet people, right? Always ask them, are you looking to invest? If somebody's buying a house, have you thought about building wealth through real estate? I can help you, show you different ways to do that as well.
Great. That's great. A lot of successful realtors are successful because they're continuously looking to build their lists. And whether it's the list of their database of close clients or list of their sphere or past contacts from previous jobs that they've had, or like you said, man, I'm growing my investor list. Do you store them in a CRM?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
use?
I use Command with KW at the moment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then they're all sorted by, hey, this is the investor list.
Yep.
And then you just throw on the headset and then auto dial through there.
Yeah, so I use that one, and then I also use, right now I'm using Redix as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So I put my list on there just because I use that 3-line dialer, so it makes it a lot
Yeah.
easier for me to go through numbers that way.
Yep.
So just be a little bit more efficient with my time as well.
And that's where you also pull some of the expireds,
Correct.
canceled, right,
Yeah.
through there because
And
they have
then
good data through there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 50%, I think, hit on
Mhm.
numbers. I've used other ones in the past, and I feel pretty much all of them have like a 50-50,
Right.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
but as long as I just keep dialing and eventually, get that person that says yes
Yeah.
and go from there.
Now, obviously, been in the game a long time. Do you have a separate list that's all your database, like closed clients and?
Yeah, so I have one for like my investor list, close clients. I have one for like my sphere that's like family, friends, more people that I've known just to different ways, not
Mhm.
just specifically business. So I have I have a list of mine. It's called my 201 Plus Club. So they've done studies within Keller Williams. They have studies that if you have an active database with at least 201 contacts in there, that you're actively marketing it to it. Most of those agents are making a little over $100,000 once they get kind of past that threshold.
Okay. So it's just the road to get to 201.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not that many people if you think about it. I mean, if you look at your phone now, you probably have a couple. For you, probably a couple thousand people on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I mean, even you can have that list right away.
Well, the stat was something like, it's 15% of your database will move every year.
Mhm.
And that's basically taken that percentage is that everyone moves every 7 years.
Right.
So if you say it's 10, it's 10% of your, if it's every 10 years, it's 10% of your database will move every year. And so I was like, I'm quickly doing the math. I'm like, okay, it's 15%, 200, that's 30 times your average commission. Okay, you're going to net over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
So, but it's cool learning those numbers and kind of tracking those. Like it's because before Keller Williams, I didn't know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like kind of putting those systems in place to help you get to that 201. And then how do you systematically also communicate to all those people?
That was my next question. So with your list, and I'm big about playbooks, so or recipes. So what's
Yeah.
your playbook for that list of closed clients? They've done deals with you, you've closed, you've handed them the keys, or you've taken the keys because they sold the house. What does that follow up look like?
Gotcha. So for those clients, I obviously already have all their information or the contact information, know where they live, know their birthdays. So always contact them on their birthday, right? When they have a house anniversary, when they sold, reach out
Okay.
to them those days.
Phone call.
Phone call. Yep.
Yep.
Phone call. Send them a little gift as well on those 2 days as well. I have them on a quarterly plan. So every quarter I try to contact all my people as much as
So
possible.
quarterly, you're hitting your database. So 4 times a year. and birthday and anniversary,
Correct.
so that's 6 touches a year on
Yeah.
the database.
Correct. And then
By phone.
by phone, correct.
Okay.
And then also have them on a weekly email that I do as well.
Is
So
that email, text, video?
right now I'm doing is just like HTML video
Okay.
email, like just a regular email,
Okay.
right? And then now I'm trying to implement some more of kind of the videos. You do like the bomb videos, or what you used to. I'm
Yep.
not sure what you're using now, but trying to get more into doing that to have more of face to face, right? So to
That'd
speak.
be great. Yeah. I mean, you're already comfortable on the camera anyway, so I think doing the
Try
videos
to,
would be
try
awesome.
to.
And a
Got me
video,
sweating over here.
and a video market update,
Yeah.
right? Because, I think that it's always trying to add value to the clients forever. Because you sold them a house 2 years ago. They're not doing anything right now. But there's so much stuff going on in the news right now in our industry.
100%.
You need to be the source of the information, not the media, because the media is just going to sell fear.
Yeah.
You get to sell the real information of, hey, here's what's really going on in the market.
Right.
And if you want something more specific, reach out to me. But
Exactly.
having it in a video, I think, would be very personalized. But even if it was, because they always say the HTML is a higher open rate because it gets less caught up in spam filters.
Right.
So if you're doing that a couple times a month, but then every once in a while you drop the video, or are you using any systems like a HomeBot or anything?
So at the moment I do have HomeBot, and I haven't been using their video function.
Because I was going to
as
say,
much.
let's say you record your video and you host it on YouTube, and you take that and put it in your email to your database, but then you can also upload that into your HomeBot, so the next time the digest goes out, they see the same video. And I don't think anyone's going to go, oh my gosh, I saw that video twice. I'm going to unsubscribe from Edgar, right? They're not going to do
That
that.
never happens.
They're like, they start watching, like, oh, that's the same one he sent in the email. I already saw that one. Done.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Or, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, didn't I watch that before? Because they're so distracted with everything
Well,
else.
I mean,
Maybe
you
they
get
missed
with
it.
so much pieces of information every day. So
Yeah,
well, half the time you can send some twice a week, and they still wouldn't
right.
know it's the same thing you sent a couple days ago.
So we got the 6 calls. We've got the emails going out. We're going to add some video to it. We have the HomeBot. What else, anything else for the database?
Let's see what else is there.
You doing any events? You getting
I'm
face to
not
face
doing
with them
any
at all?
events yet. I'm trying to implement kind of how to do that moving forward.
Okay.
That's my goal for 2025 is do quarterly client events.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I'm
quarterly.
doing.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm trying to plan it right now. Like, what could they be? Like, I have a
That's a couple ideas.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the like planning stages, so I haven't even thought about it yet.
Okay.
That's
What have you seen? Have you seen anything that other agents have done that you think would be up your alley? Like we do the pie event. You've seen the pie event,
by event. Yeah,
Right.
that new people
That's
who do that.
the easy one.
With our office, we did a shredathon.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty good. So I'm want to do that more for just my clientele as opposed to the entire office.
Mhm.
I want to do some kind of movie night because I just think that'd be a cool experience, and I hear a lot of good feedback from other agents that do it, just other vendors in the industry.
Can I give you a tip?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're actually doing Moana because if you reach out to Harkins
Yeah.
or AMC, but we go to Harkins, they'll give you the movies that are coming out for the next year.
Oh.
Right. And so we went back, had to be maybe 4 months ago, and they gave me the list, and we're looking through, and I'm like, ooh, Moana 2's coming out, and it's the weekend, it's like Thanksgiving weekend.
Gotcha.
So I'm booking it the next weekend in December. We do Saturday morning, 10 a.m. We usually pick like the 200 or 300 room one. You block off the first 50 tickets because you don't want people sitting in the front row like this, right? So we block that out. So if it's a 300 theater, we do 250. We do an Eventbrite that says 4 people on it. Obviously, if you have the families that have 5 or 6, they're going to reach out to me and say, hey, can I get an extra? We're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the first time I made the mistake of leaving it open, and I had someone, her name was Anita. She grabbed like 20 tickets, and I was like, hey. She's like, oh, the kids, their friends, the classroom. And I was like, hey, no problem. Great. Meanwhile, my clients are missing out, right? Because they're taking the seats. So then I said, next time I said, hey, we need to drop that down. So we did the 4. We do giveaways, flat screen TV, AirPods, Ring doorbells, things like that. And we say, hey, if you send us some clients, we'll add you into the drawing. And if you do a Google review, we'll add you into the drawing. Gotcha. And then we do some giveaways. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
And when you do the theaters, they don't have to do the trailers. So when people come in, you say, hey, come in at 10. We're going to start at 10:30. You get up there and thank everybody for coming. And then at 10:30, you just wave to the Harkins person and they fire it up. You can play the trailers if you want, but we just go.
Yeah.
We do the little giveaways, and I don't know, it's fun, but it's easy, right? Like you call the theater, they tell you, you book at the date, 10 a.m., you throw an Eventbrite out, you send it to your database. It's one of the easier ones that we do. The pie one I'll explain too, but that one's pretty easy as well. But I think if I like the family, if it also depends on your closed clients.
Sure.
If you did a bunch of investor deals, they're not coming to Moana,
Yeah, no.
right? But now that you have, the baby boy, you're helping families get into homes, and you have that more of your database, then I'm going that way.
100%.
Yeah. And as he gets older and they're in school, now you're inviting like his friends, those other families that you're networking with, they're coming to your thing, your investor pool, if they have families. But you can also pick different ones, right? So when you see like the Spider-Mans or the, maybe it's the, the action ones, right? That might like, what was it? Like Maverick and, like those ones.
Those ones.
Star Wars. I mean, we had to get 2 theaters for Star Wars because it sold out within an hour.
Yeah. Oh,
we
geez.
booked it. Came out right during Christmas. I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember. It was probably 6 years ago. I'm like, hey, book that one. That'll be great. Star Wars, right? And we're learning about this in like February for Christmas. And we book it. Literally, it gets to like, November. We start seeing the trailers for it. So we're like, hey, let's advertise it to the database. Within an hour, booked. I was like, try to get another theater. She's like, it'll only hold 50 people. I'm like, get it anyways, because we knew we could fill it.
Yeah.
So when you have the right movie, right time of year, you're going to fill it up.
That makes sense.
So, have you ever seen any other agents? I like the Shredathon idea. I also like technology disposals too, because people don't know, like, get rid of their computers and hard drives and get rid of that. So doing a shred with the technology stuff usually goes hand in hand.
About that.
Yeah. But have you ever seen any other events that agents have done that you would like?
I've seen other ones they'll do like a neighborhood like Halloween event as well too. So have kids come dressed up. They'll have different vendors out there giving candy. There's an agent in our office. I think he did one last. He's been doing it for Halloween for the past like 4 or 5 years. And this last Halloween, he had close to like 250 people come through.
Wow.
And he's the only one that does it. And
like a trunk or treat?
Similar, yeah, but his is like on like a larger scale now because he's been doing it for like 4 years. But now like the whole HOA like knows about it, so they'll help him advertise it.
Oh,
right?
that's
So
awesome.
he has tons of people coming in through it. Yeah.
Ooh, that's another thing. Do you farm at all?
I try to, not as efficiently as I should. So trying to get better at that as well.
Yeah.
Especially where I live. Right.
That's what I was going to say. I like farming where you live is the best, but if you had a farm, there's a whole plan for that.
Yeah.
But especially when it's where you live, I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the last year I saw like 3 houses just in my street, and I'm like, such an idiot. Why am I not doing this already? Like I should have started when I moved there.
Well,
Like
now you got some stroller walks that you can go on, the cooler weather,
Yeah.
and maybe you reignite that kind of campaign.
I'm gonna put a sign on my stroller. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah. Got real estate.
do. Yeah.
Let's talk that through. So if you were going to start that up in your neighborhood, what are some of the things you would do for farming?
Now, well, for me, one of the big things would because the houses are pretty close, right? For me, I'm gonna start door knocking them to begin with, just to introduce myself because I'm also not just your neighbor. I'm not just a realtor. I'm also your neighbor who lives in your neighborhood. For me, doing the door knocking is big. Start sending out more like monthly mailings to them.
Okay.
So at least kind of get to know them, right? At least do it for next 12 months. I don't plan on leaving that area anytime soon. And then that's what I got planned so far.
I like that. Well, I like the consistency of I'm going to put a 12-month plan in place. I'm going to door knock. Are you going to leave anything behind on the door knock, like newsletter, card, door hanger?
I haven't thought about that yet. Good question.
Okay.
Yeah,
And maybe
but-
that's not the first one, but the second one.
Yeah.
Right, when you go to door knock it. I just love that the weather's cooling off, so it's a great time now to be door knocking, especially when I'm taking around in the stroller because it's less intimidating.
Yeah.
Right? Like I show up and they're like, well, who's the bald dude that's, fit and at my door? Like I'm not opening it.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
They're
right?
scared of you. They don't
But if I
think
come in like for me, I'd have to bring my dogs or like my daughter who's 14.
Yeah.
They'd definitely open the door,
Yeah.
right? Or they'd be like, they selling Girl Scout cookies. I don't want to open the door, right?
it's either good or bad. One or
But
the
it'll
other.
leave behind right there, right? Some of the more aggressive ones I've seen, and I say maybe more sniperish, is you get with the title company, like our title partner, they'll pull the list that's got equity position, how long they've been in the house,
Yeah.
and then you do a Who do you use for your CMAs? Do you use RPR or
RPR,
Cloud or yeah? So RPR, you do the little report, right? And then you can print it out, bind it up, and then we drop that on their doorstep. Slide it into a UPS or a FedEx envelope, write their name right on it. Sorry, I missed you. Put a sticky note. Sorry, I missed you. Drop it on there. They're going to open it.
100%.
And especially for you doing videos again, I'm thinking, man, put a QR code on the cover there that says, hey, my name is Edgar. I'm not only a realtor, I'm your neighbor. I'm 3 doors down at 3329. Knock on my door. We do some research around here. Hey, love to come by. Hey, I took some time to do this research for you. I don't think you're going to be looking to leave our neighborhood. It's so nice here. But if you ever have any questions about it, would love for you to use me as a resource. Whatever. That could be a video that's a QR code on top of the RPR thing that you leave at their doorstep. Okay. I don't know if you can do that for everyone in the subdivision, but if you said, hey, that one's got 50% equity. They've been here for 6 years. They're going to do something in the next couple of years. I'm going to go home and make the little report, use the little slider bars, and drop that thing off at their house.
That's a great idea.
That might be something. I like the pumpkin thing. We've done we did like a fall thing where we bought pallets of pumpkins. Yeah. And we had, and this would be great, again, with the kid, right? You have hay bales stacked up. You say, hey, come by and grab a pumpkin and get your picture taken. And you have the photo booth thing there, right? Where they go in and, push the thing, they get their picture taken, and then they have to punch in their cell phone number to get a text of the picture. Yeah. And then you get the picture, they get the picture, you get their contact info, they get a pumpkin.
It's a win-win-win.
Something to invite them to.
Yeah.
So we've seen that work very well. You're not into swim lessons yet, but at some point you're going to do swim lessons, right? My assistant just did the infant swim rescue, which is the one where they to graduate, they throw them in the pool with clothes on, right? And obviously they survive, but they get really good at swimming. Yeah. And we hosted a water safety event. So we had fire truck, we had CPR instruction. We had infant swim rescue was there. We had, I think it's called Hubbard, the Hubbard Swim School, or a local one to your area is what we want. And then we had coloring and Costco cookies and things like that. But we had people just coming out from the neighborhood because in Arizona, one is too many for drowning. Okay. And so you host that as your spring event in your farm.
It's a good idea.
This was all, and I learned this from a gentleman from KW. He was out of, I want to say it was Michigan. Gosh, I forget his name. I wish I could give him credit. But he said you can literally compress time for what you get out of your farm. They typically say if you farm, you're good for maybe 2 deals within the first 12 to 18 months. If you're doing the normal, hey, I'm going to postcard, I'm going to mail, I'm going to door knock, maybe host an open house. But if you get very intentional about it, hosting quarterly events, doing the fall festival pumpkin idea, you do the water safety event, you hold multiple open house every month. You're doing an open house in the neighborhood, even if it's not your listing, right? I'm just grabbing somebody else. Hey, can I hold that open? Because you're just there. And then you're door knocking during that. You're dropping off the RPR folders to everybody. You can condense and compress time and accelerate the benefits of the farm by just doing more activity.
More activities,
yeah. And again, doing some of that stuff can be stuff that I'm inviting the database to.
100%.
Right? Can I invite them to the pie giveaway, but the pie pickup is at my house? And you set up a huge, foldable table outside, and they're coming to your home, your driveway, to come and grab the pie. Here you go. Yeah. We have them come to our office. You could have them come to your KW office. You could have them come to your house. But those are very easy ones too. I have agents that actually deliver them if their clients are within proximity. It's a lot, but that personal touch.
We had one agent that did that, and they didn't realize where their clients were living. The ones that were saying yes to. So she had 20 people, and I think she spent 3 days driving because they were all spread all over. But she's like, never again. I'm going to deliver them. I'm going to be like, I'm going to stick to one place, have them come to me wherever that's going to be. But I will never deliver them ever again.
That we've always done it at the office, and we've had times where we've given 13 pies away and we've given 80 pies away. So, and we're actually coming up on that event coming up soon. I just like it because it's a touch to your database. Yeah. It's another thing. So going back to your database, you have the calls, you've got the emails, you've now got the face-to-face. I mean, you pretty much have it covered. I always say mail, call, visit, and email.
Yeah. I need to work on the visit part.
Which the visit is the event, right? You invite them to the movie theater, invite them to the pumpkin thing, and it's not, I don't find it's cost prohibitive because that's an investment in your marketing. The theaters are, depending on the movie, it's 1,000 to 1,500,
Yeah.
and that includes we buy the stack of cards that give the little cardboard box the kids get with
Oh,
the
yeah.
popcorn and gummy bear and a drink. We buy those for the kids, so that's included in that, and I still have a stack left over for the next movie that we're gonna do.
That works out perfectly.
And you just keep handing them out. People come in, you hand them out, you take the raffle, you do the giveaway, and then everyone leaves, and they still have the rest of their Saturday.
And you enjoy your movie.
Yeah. And the people that couldn't come still feel honored because they were invited. It's another phone call. So there's one of your quarterly touches is I'm going to call them during the invite.
Well, it's a couple, right? Because you got to invite them, remind them.
Yeah.
And then after the event, hey, we missed you.
Thank them.
So
yeah.
and
Hey,
thank
we
'em,
missed
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for coming. Yeah. And
Still have
again,
another 3 touches right
you
there.
got your video content going out. Hey, I'm outside the movie theater, excited for Moana or this WB thing that's coming out or Star Wars or whatever. Yeah. And what's nice is you get the advanced preview of what movies are coming.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. You can call them ahead of time. You're like,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because then I look at them like, hey, what's going to be the one? And I have the team pick. We just pick, hey, what's going to be a good one?
that's a good strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was thinking about doing it. I was just going to call and be like, all right, what's coming up in like the next month? But
Yeah,
if you can get that list,
you can get the list.
that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. I can send you the one that we have because it goes through next spring. So I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's next for you? We're right now, you talked about one of the things when you first got into the residential side, they did a business planning class. And I know that you guys are big on the planning. Have you done it yet for 25?
No, we have ours. Our next one's coming up end of October.
Okay, cool. So perfect. So it's not enough time to get everything going. So, but when you think about it, what's something you're going to add or increase in your activity for 2025?
Well, definitely client events that we talked about.
Okay.
So I'll definitely add the quarterly client events. And for me, it's really getting more purposeful on my lead gen. Like I said, because it's been going up and down, up and down. So getting more purposeful with my lead gen. And then
Like that no matter what, it's going to happen
correct.
that day.
Yeah, like that's my non-negotiable for these times during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother me at all. I'm busy, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then what's the other one I'm doing? So within Keller Williams, another part of my business that I'm doing is I really enjoy not training, but teaching newer agents how to get in the business and be successful. So I'm doing a lot more training inside our office. And also since we have a program that's called Case Grow, I don't know if you've heard of it before. So it's Keller School of Opportunities in Real Estate. So anybody that wants to get into real estate, it's in about 45 different states, but we offer a scholarship for people that want to get their license with pre-licensing classes. For like in Arizona, the 96-hour course is I think like $500. So with Keller Williams, we'll sponsor people to take the class. There's no obligation to join Keller Williams whatsoever, but it actually gets people into the classes and taking the 90 hours for free.
Do the classes happen there, or do they go to like Arizona
So
School of Real
it's all
Estate?
done online.
Okay.
Yeah, it's online. It's a partnership with Kaplan Education.
Oh yeah.
So it's all done online. And then so my biggest focus is trying to help more people get in the industry that want to get it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Now, how are you going to do that?
So right now I'm doing a lot through Eventbrite. So if I do 3 career events every month. So through career, so I do posts on social media about our career events, kind of letting people know what's kind of the process of getting your license, what it takes, what it looks like, any questions they have, more than welcome to come. So we do 3 of them every month, and then posting on Eventbrite, social media. Sometimes I do a couple paid ads here and there, posting on Indeed as well.
Have you ever gone back to ASU, being a graduate of the real estate program, and said, hey, can we post this on the job board?
Not yet, but that's a good idea.
All right. Yeah. I think, I don't know how, I know they still do job fairs on campus.
Yeah.
Scottsdale Community, Glendale, PV, ASU. And you even have some of the other colleges that are here, like U of A has a campus up here, NAU has a campus down here, right? So would there be an opportunity there maybe to get on their online job board, because a lot of kids may not go to job fairs physically anymore, but they would go on a job board, and especially if you're already you're a graduate, you're in their program.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a layup for them, and you're obviously also offering an opportunity in real estate to people in the real estate program at ASU. So that might be an idea.
I appreciate that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
that's a good idea.
I like the give back, man. You've been doing it for almost 2 decades. It's the feeling of, hey, how can I give back to an industry that's given me so much?
100%.
And I think the mentoring is good. Plus, it's the iron sharpens iron, right? Like you will get better with your stuff when you're teaching them these different ways to market, right? Like, hey, this is how we're going to shoot some videos, and you're going to get better at videos.
And you have to learn it, because if you're teaching it, you have to get better at knowing
You
what
really
you're
gotta
teaching,
know.
right? So you really
That's
need to know
true.
it.
Yeah.
So it definitely forces you to learn it even more of it, or like you kind of get better at what you're teaching.
Yeah. Well, that's a great additional revenue stream too, to build that mentoring program up, right? And help them, but also more so, you make way more in your own personal production. So that's more of a give back to the industry.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. What else for 2025?
Let's see.
Where do you see the marketing and social media going?
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be more important, like in 2025, I feel, to be able to, like you said, build your personal brand, right? Do more on social media as far as how you're able to help the client. Like I have the fault of doing this too. Like I'm always pushing out like stuff that I feel people want to hear, as opposed to listen to the actual consumer and just giving information that's really helpful to them, as opposed to just kind of pushing my agenda on them, right?
Oh,
Really kind
good one.
of giving them information that's going to be beneficial
Yep.
to them, kind of help them.
So how do you figure out what they want?
So I usually do, like when I do my quarterly calls to my clients, past customers, investors, I always ask them, what is it, that information that they're looking for? Like when they're online, what is it that they're searching for?
Oh, I like that.
Right, so I asking them
Survey.
questions, exactly, like a survey, see
Yeah.
what they want. I have a private Facebook group for my past clients, and on there I'm always asking them, like, what information do you guys want to learn about?
Wait, you totally glanced over that when we talked
Oh.
about your past client
Uh-oh.
playbook.
Yeah.
That was the hidden
That's the hidden one, yeah. So I have a past client Facebook
closed group
closed group, right? Yeah, so I have
that
to
they're
invite people on.
invited to.
Correct. So I
What
invite
kind?
them in there. Like I'll do like smaller drawings here and there throughout like the month as
Wow.
well. So that it's, if engaging, it's a lot easier for me to get in contact with all of them without feeling like they have to go call you, or because
Yeah.
when you're on social media, you can go on there any time of the day you want to,
Right.
right? So, but I guess that's another part of my lead gen that I do as well.
That's
So,
awesome.
So being more purposeful with my social media, not just going on there just to post.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so within that group, you'll do like a survey.
Mhm.
Hey, what kind of information are you looking for?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think so. I think the last one I was doing, what was my last survey I did? Oh, I think I was asked, like, if you were to buy a home in the next like 5 years, what information would you want to know?
Good
And
one.
then I just leave it open,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they can put in their own options on there on the survey.
Right.
You give them a couple options, and you can kind of do it so they add their own, and then
like
you just
that.
kind of see who votes for the most ones, and there's
Then
the
there's your content.
Yeah, and there's your content, right?
Yeah. What about taking that same thing and just putting it into an email and email it to the database? Because if someone already did the survey online, they're like, oh, I did that already, delete. But someone might not have seen it online, so they're like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then they reply back with a 1, a 2, or their own answer.
True. It's two different databases, right? You think about it as well, too.
True.
Because if in my CRM, if I'm doing that kind of survey because on my CRM, they're labeled if they're in my Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sending the exact same surveys to those exact same people in my
But
database.
you could,
But
because they might not see it on social,
Right.
So I'm saying I email the closed database, and the closed database is in my closed Facebook group, right? Because they're your past clients. So I'm going to send the same message to both, because some might cross over, but
True.
for the most part, they didn't see it on social. They saw it on the email, or they didn't see the email. They saw it on social.
Yeah.
And then there's still a group that didn't even see it. So that's where you're hitting them with the phone calls,
Sure. Yeah.
right? I said never rely on one form of
Oh,
communication.
no, not at all.
Right.
Yeah, as many times as you can, different forms.
Yeah, but I like that is really good perspective, because I think that social media is just getting more congested, and you really got to differentiate yourself, which you've done through your brand, but also your messaging has to follow suit.
Yeah.
And so adjusting that messaging in 2025 will be important to further differentiate yourself. Yeah. Anything else new coming up in 2025?
Just having our newborn, 7 months old, I'm just kind of taking all that in. So
How you juggling
actually,
that?
it's more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but it's been a blast. I'm very fortunate the way our kind of, me and my girlfriend, is we have kind of separate different schedules. So if she mostly works at night, she has a fitness studio that she owns. So when she's at the fitness studio, it's usually in the evenings. So she'll take care of him during the day, and then I'll take care of her at night. So it's been working out amazing, right? Obviously, having family that's always close by always kind of helps
great.
as well too. So
Yeah. Do you mainly work out of home or office?
it'd be a mix. I think it's like 50-50.
Okay. Is it more home now though? So you're
It's more home now.
right.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
you're no closer to him.
exactly.
It's hard to leave,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
now
it's
it's doing
fun
those
coming
time
home.
blocks make it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, and now like he rolled in here today, like literally rolled in the stroller, and he's just got this huge grin. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how do you leave? And I just remember those days, man. It's hard. It's fun to come home to.
yeah, 100%.
But the more that those expressions keep coming out, the harder it is to leave, right? And the more you want to be around it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also understand that I've got to create the life that I want and the opportunities I want for him. And so I need to be working.
Yeah.
But it makes you very purposeful and intentional in your activities when you're at work, so you're not robbing time,
100%.
right?
Yeah. It's kind of, it's interesting in the way, like, just when he was born, like, my perspective on everything changes, like, automatically.
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer about me, right? So now it's about him, her, helping them. How can I help? How can I use my time to best affect the way they're going to live in the future? Which is totally different. For me, obviously totally different mindset.
Yeah. It
And I feel
wasn't
it's-
that way
it wasn't
9
going
months
for-
ago.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm like, so just being, like I said, being more purposeful and more intentful in protecting my time when I'm at work as well. I think it's going to be a big different stretch and a different shift for me at 25.
Well, it's like you have the plan, right? You got the playbook, and it's how do I stay and block out those distractions to stay, like you said, intentional, purposeful, on focus, prioritized with all those activities. That's cool.
100%.
Dude, this has been fun, man.
Same here.
I really learned a lot. This is great strategies too to be sharing out with the community, to learn from someone who's been doing this for a very long time. But you do it very well.
Appreciate
so thanks for
you.
coming in.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah.